Hello, I'm Paul Esser. I'm the mayor of the city of Sun Prairie. I'm so pleased that you're joining us today. Sun Prairie is a community of growth. We have been since our founding back in 1837, when there were a group of people coming to build the state capital of Wisconsin in Madison. They came to the outside of Sun Prairie, and it had been raining in their whole way across, and as they came to Sun Prairie, the sun came through and they were looking out over a prairie, and they named us Sun Prairie. And since that time, we have gone through several waves of growth in this community. Most recently, we're now growing at a very quick pace, and that is a positive for our community. And over these periods of growth, we have brought a lot of people into this community. This community has changed over time, but it remains the solid place, a place that is ready to embrace the growth that's coming in our future.
Sun Prairie has over many times in its history been a place to settle and create community for those looking for a new place to call home. This includes displaced groups like the Hmong people, who through their involvement in the Vietnam War, fighting alongside American GIs, gained refugee status in the United States. Wisconsin, with its agricultural tradition, was an ideal home for the Hmong population, who brought with them a strong farming tradition of their own. Finding familiarity and purpose in today's traditions, like local farmers markets and a sense of home in communities like Sun Prairie. And while Wisconsin's own legacy of displacement of Native nations, including the Ho-Chunk, Oneida, and Potawatomi in this region, mar our past, resolutions like the one to retire Native American mascots here in Sun Prairie schools are small steps in honoring the many cultures that have called this land home, and that's a type of growth too.
Speaking of schools, the Sun Prairie school system is a great way to measure our community's growth. We are one of the only communities in Wisconsin who built 2 new elementary schools in 2018 and will build a new high school while other communities around the state shrink. And that's because we continue to not only attract young families through our strong and nurturing education system, but because we built a community where our local youth thrives. So when they grow up, they stay here to have families of their own. Retaining and gaining neighbors is a sign of a healthy community where people are proud and excited to live and contribute.
This isn't the first time a Great Migration brought new residents to Sun Prairie. Between 1916 and 1970, Black families left the South in search of that same opportunity and welcoming community that brings people here today. Like my mother, who at the age of 12 moved here to settle military housing, the beauty, neighborly warmth, and small-town convenience of Sun Prairie is really what makes generations stay, to create the vibrant, diverse identity of this community through growing pains, tragedy, and triumphs.
A diverse identity stitched together by people who have chosen to call Sun Prairie home, bringing with them culture, community, and business, like the owners of El Primo, Full Mile Beer Company, Prairie Athletic Club, and Salvatore's Tomato Pies. These local gems attract a growing population, and today Sun Prairie averages the construction of more than 160 single-family homes a year. The rules of supply and demand don't just apply to our economic growth, but also our growth in housing. So we continue to build more and more single-family and multifamily residences in order to keep up with our demand and to keep prices from going up. No matter if you choose to live, work, or play in Sun Prairie, we all add to the unique, dynamic, and welcoming community that makes Sun Prairie the place to be.
As younger newcomers, my wife and I are excited to see that Sun Prairie offers a strong bike infrastructure, a vibrant downtown, and accessible public resources like our library, our museum, and stellar city services.
This thriving community is made possible by early settlers like the Botts family that built our first business bank, built up a network of local agriculture, and continue to make an impact on our local identity today through the dynamic stories of the past and a lasting legacy of local leadership.
My wife and I moved to Sun Prairie in 1970. At that time, the city was under 10,000 people. We're now over 35,000 people and predicted to grow considerably in the years ahead. The growth that's occurred in Sun Prairie since we came in here in 1970 is not only growing in the numbers of people, but also the diversity of people that are calling Sun Prairie home. We're prepared for that change, both in numbers and the people that are here. We're prepared and ready to embrace all of the people that choose to call Sun Prairie home. I encourage you to watch what we're doing in Sun Prairie over the years ahead by following us on #CivicSunPrairie. Thank you for watching.